more of the guys, and then we will have our discussion. Yeah. Okay, guys. So it just happens that Arsenal managed to draw with Liverpool. Now, my question is it that Liverpool are a good side or Arsenal didn't play well? Is it that Arne Slot is a better coach than Arteta, or it's just the fact that Arteta is, you know, afflicted with many different kinds of injuries, to many different kinds of his players? Because obviously Arteta didn't have a fully fit Saka. He didn't have Odegaard. He didn't have Saliba, who was out due to disciplinary issues. So it makes one wonder what's really going on at Arsenal. Now Arsenal have only 18 points now. Um, Liverpool have 20, I think it's 23, and Manchester City have 24. So after 9 games, Manchester City have dropped 3 points. Is it three? Something like that. But Manchester City are still proving to be the most dominant of the pack after 9 games. But it has to be recognized that Arne Slot has done a fantastic job. Arne Slot has done he's done an absolutely fantastic job at the way he has been able to build that Liverpool side, especially looking at how he inherited a team and it was not a team that he built. And to use someone's already built team in that way and fashion, it's just it's just reflective of his level of class. So yeah, kudos to Arne Slot. Going to Arsenal to find a win is quite difficult. Can be quite difficult. Yeah, because Arteta is quite elite right now, and regardless the opposition, they will give you a fight. So looking at the situation, you would say that it's 2 points lost for Arsenal and 1 point gained for Liverpool. Especially also seeing as how they came from behind to fetch that 1 point. Now we talk about coaching a lot of times. You see that Arne Slot read the game and decided to effect a few changes, brought on 3 players at a go, and those 3 players spearheaded Liverpool's comeback and 2-1. So yeah, good one to Arne Slot. But talk about Arsenal's set plays. My goodness, they are really good at it, aren't they? They're almost masters at it. It's really difficult to, and I think they have this set piece coach, and that guy is doing a fantastic job. He really is. Um, and at Liverpool, you can also see that Liverpool are also quite good at set plays, set pieces. Even in the Champions League, you see them scoring a lot from set pieces. Arsenal have probably now accepted that they are not always going to be able to find goals from open play. So they have also devised a way to get goals even when they are not playing particularly well. And I think that's working fantastically well for them. They get the set plays, they get the quality of the cross by Rice. Oh my God, it's just So yeah, I'm not gonna talk a lot about this match because both sides are very high quality, and the game we got is exactly what we would expect from these kind of teams. So most definitely, yeah. What else is there to say? Robertson. What the hell's wrong with that guy? Robertson. Did you see how Saka dismantled him right in front of his goalpost? My goodness. Robertson. Now, it's two things. It's either he has always been defensively, let's say, shite. Yeah, it's either that he's always been very weak defensively, but that has been matched by his attacking brilliance on the club. But now that he has to actually defend, it looks like he's never done it. What was that about? Robertson, a half-fit Saka, sat him down, gave him some grass to eat for dinner. So most definitely, we're probably gonna. It could also be that he's aging. It's probably past his prime. It could be that it's probably time to change. Robertson. It could be that. But from what I saw today, I was not impressed. The way, because Saka, don't forget, Saka is only half fit. He's not 100%, and Saka gave him a torrid time on that line, on that left right flank. My goodness, Robertson was terrible. So, yeah, but Salah looks like in perfect shape. Darwin Nunez, I see that for a player they bought for about 80 million. If you buy a player for 80 million, you would expect the player to score goals. But I think that it's been established that they have come to the realization that he's not the player they thought he was. He just cannot score goals. So they're trying to use his other traits, like his speed, his power, his work rate, to the benefit of the team, which he's doing very well. Today he helped the defense a lot. Um, he had the assist, which was also quite a very good assist. So Nunez, kudos to Nunez. And there is also another one, Gravenberch. My goodness, Gravenberch. What really amazes me is how he's been able to stay fit all this while. I've never seen him play football for that long without getting injured. So what is it with coaches that can really transform players like that? Because Gravenberch doesn't look anything like the Gravenberch we've become accustomed to. Gravenberch is playing with some elegance and class in that midfield. Per- marauding one end to the other, patrolling every single fiber of every single blade on that field. It's like it's a different player, but the same guy who was not doing so well last season. I think with the way Slot is playing now, it would probably make people question why would I mean question Klopp's quality. Really, it probably make people question. Okay, this guy is probably better than Klopp, but I think that would be an unfair analysis, especially looking at how Klopp built from the scratch, and this guy is just eating the icing on the cake when it's already been built from the bottom. So that's probably an unfair assessment. Next thing I want to talk about is Arsenal, the dark arts. Arsenal have. You remember the Premier League teams complained to the FA about the dark arts of Arsenal. What it is when you decide to play, in a brutal fashion, when you decide to become more physical, needlessly physical, yeah, you think you're probably hurting your opponents. That's probably your mindset going into it. But what you eventually do as an endpoint or like as a consequence is you hurt yourself, because the more you exert yourself in those kind of physical situations, the more you become you wear off. Understand? So you build fatigue, you build muscle cramps, you get injured more easily, and that's what's happening with Arsenal. You see, in 9 games, well, in 8 games, they had already gotten 3 red cards. So there's definitely that element of I would even say tyranny with their style of play. Um, Now let's go into my favorite team, Manchester United. Mr. Ten Hag, once again. Look, they have a streak of games, many of which I don't see them picking any points. And the West Ham game was one of them. Because if you're playing Lopetegui, who I don't really rate as a top manager, but when you're playing in the London Stadium, yeah, you're gonna have problems. And Mr. Ten Hag, with his lack of tactical know-how, which I've been repeating every day. Now it looks like people are finally coming to the party, understanding what I've been trumpeting for almost 2 years now. That Ten Hag, he's a motivational speaker. He can really motivate players to Anyway, those online, you can definitely share your views, and I'll read your views in your comments, and we will have a discussion about it. All right. So most definitely feel free to pop in the comment section and leave your submissions, and we will talk about it. I want to know your views about what you think is going on, especially with Ten Hag. Today I saw Dalot miss an empty goal. Right. So in a circumstance like that, are you gonna blame the coach or are you gonna blame the player? So the problem at Manchester United right now is it a problem of the coach or is it a problem of the players? What do you think? Let me know. Because for me, I think it's predominantly the coach. And obviously, when you don't have a very good tactical head, what happens is it cascades into other different elements of your play, which eventually also consumes the player's mentality and confidence, which I think is quite evident in the way Manchester United play lately. Um, so someone just said in the comment section that he sucks. He just sucks. Period. That he's talking about Ten Hag. That Ten Hag sucks, which I don't think is very far from the truth. Because look, Manchester United have played about 10 games and have probably won one. And these 10 games include teams like FC20, right? Teams like Crystal Palace. Teams that Manchester United should be able to beat in their sleep. But they are not able to. A lot of people would blame the players. But, at the core of it, you also realize that many of these players at the club right now are players that the coach has chosen to be there. So even if the players are not playing at the level that you would expect, you also realize that their presence in the team right now is the direct consequence of the choices of the coach. So in any way you analyze it, it's really difficult to eliminate the factor of the manager because he chose this crop of players. He chose Xerxes. He chose Anthony. He chose Hoyland, right? Ganacho. These are his direct choices. So even if these players are disappointing him, look, if he didn't like Dalot, right, you should have gotten rid of him a long time ago. Now, if you decide to stick with players, it means you're going to try to make them better. So if the players are not getting better and they are getting worse under your watch, we cannot castigate the players without involving you in it because you are a part of that whole sequence. This is the situation. We can decide to back Ten Hag. That's fine, but the thing is, football today is overly scientific that you cannot get away with being lackluster or not having adequate knowledge about some of the details of it. You know what I'm saying? The way football is played right now. Look, some people say that Ten Hag is going to the Manchester United board are trying to replicate what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson, giving him 5 years before he won anything, right? But this scenario was in the 80s. In the 80s, where Alex Ferguson could stand in front of a player and shout their brains out. You can't do that right now. Look, the world has changed. Again, Alex Ferguson went into the academy, built a whole academy right from the scratch, caught the children young. In the heads of those children, that class of '92, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, all of them, you know them, Beckham, all of them, right? They knew Alex Ferguson as their second dad when they were about 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So when you're 18 and Alex Ferguson is shouting in your face, it feels natural. It feels normal because you've become accustomed to it for 8 years. And in a setting in an era where that was permitted, in our overly woke era now, are you going to stand in front of Casemiro, a 5-time Champions League winner, to shout in his face? Are you going to do that? No, you can't do that. Yeah. So the scenarios are totally different. I totally understand people who are trying to back Ten Hag because um, obviously the consistent changing of coaches, the consistent changing of managers over the last couple of years have been quite harmful to the club. I do personally, honestly feel the club should have given Ole more time. Now, this leniency they're having with Mr. Ten Hag, right? That should have been given to Ole because he was actually building from the scratch. He was actually building something organic, and he was actually getting the team were on his side. The players liked him. The players wanted to play for him. Right? You could see that they had that fight in them, especially in the big games against Man City. You could see that they wanted to fight, right? But in Ten Hag's situation, you see that that is not the case. It's absent. The players are lethargic. The players are demoralized. The players don't have motivation. You can see it in Rashford. He looks depressed. You can see it in Anthony. The team, the stadium, the team has become a graveyard for top talents, right? Big names come there, and young talents come to die over there. So it's not a situation of waiting and waiting to expect things to get better. At this point, what I feel is the ownership probably does not want to spend that much money on a coach who has performed so poorly by sacking him. Right? It feels like you we are rewarding you for treating us badly. That's probably what the management is thinking right now. But the situation right now is it has to be that way because if you don't get him off the team right now, the further you wait, the less the team becomes valuable, the less the team becomes attractive, and you're gonna lose money if the team is less attractive. If you're not able to attract the topmost managers, you wouldn't be able to attract the topmost players. And if you're not able to attract the topmost players, then you're not able to play the elite football. And then your sponsorships will go lower. So I think I understand their perspective of reasoning, but I do feel that it's time sooner rather than later to get rid of the man. Man, look, a lot of people say that Manchester United, the players right now are not good and blah blah blah. They probably have a point to a degree. To an extent, they do have a point that like players like Zirkzee should be playing for Manchester United starting every game. No, he shouldn't. Players like Anthony, blah blah. They're probably not far from the truth. But the situation also is that a lot of these players under a different manager would spark fire. We've seen Rashford under different managers, right? We've seen Anthony in a different team. We've seen who else? Casemiro in a different team under different managers, right? So the sooner the team gets rid of Mr. Ten Hag to bring in someone who can actually motivate these boys to play at their best, the better the team is going to perform, and things can take a positive turn sooner rather than later. This is the situation. Um, I'm not surprised, even though I would have wished Manchester United won this one. I'm not surprised West Ham beat them because Lopetegui is one coach who really gets on my nerves. He just gets on my nerves. I really hope that Manchester United would have won this one. I know a lot of you will be surprised at this pronouncement, but it's actually the truth. Yeah, I was supporting Manchester United today to win against Lopetegui, but was that ball a penalty? That was another good question. Was it really a penalty? I think there was contact. That is indubitable. But to what extent? Did it affect the play? Maybe. So it's a 50-50. I think it's really to the referee's discretion, in which in this case he chose to give the penalty. So fair play. Manchester United, we go again this week. Let's see what happens. But make no mistake about it. Manchester United are now placed 14th with 11 points. If this continues, if the coach continues to remain in his seat, I have no question about it that Manchester United will be relegation threatened. Yes. I'm not saying they're going to go in relegation or they're going to go back to, they're going to go in relegation. I'm saying that they will probably be in that crop of teams where they have to fight against relegation. And what a disgrace that would be, that the greatest team in English football history are now relegation threatened. For what? Just to defend one man? I simply don't get it. But who knows? Maybe they know better than we do. Let's see how it goes, yeah? Let's end our video here. We will come back with more later. Okay? Thank you for watching. And thank you for staying to listen to everything. Thank you for sharing your views. We will come back when the time is due. Alright? Okay. Adios.